Friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am SP Singh, retired DGM Punjab National Bank, a bank executive trainer, a banking and financial consultant, and a motivational speaker. I am back with a striking Supreme Court judgment, which is एक खतरे की घंटी for the banks, and I am going to present this video in 4 parts. Number 1, the facts of the case. Number 2, the clash of SARFAESI Act 2002 versus IBC 2016. Point number 3, the sections referred to by the Supreme Court. Point number 4, the judgment. And last, which is the most important in this presentation, is the part which explains you the consequences of this Supreme Court judgment, which is latest on this matter, and it has been delivered only on 18th of May 2022. तो ये 2022-18 मई का लेटेस्ट जजमेंट है सुप्रीम कोर्ट का, जो बैंकों के लिए मेरी ओपिनियन में एक खतरे की घंटी है. ये कैसे है, ये मैं आपको एक्सप्लेन करता हूं. पॉइंट नंबर 1, द फैक्ट्स ऑफ द केस. दिस इज ए सिविल अपील filed by Indian Overseas Bank. It is versus RCM Infrastructure Limited. Number is 4750 of 2021. You can make a reference to this. It is available on the portal of the Supreme Court. So what were the facts of this case? RCM Infrastructure Limited was granted certain credit facilities by Indian Overseas Bank. The loan was not repaid in time. The account was classified as NPA as per RBI norms, and the provisions of SARFAESI Act for the recovery of the money was invoked. So there is a laid down procedure in SARFAESI Act 2002. First, the bank has to issue a notice under section 32 of the act, and subsequently, after the lapse of the period of 60 days, the bank has to take possession. So in this case also, there were 2 IPs, both were taken into possession. The possession was symbolic, and subsequently the sale notice was published in the newspapers. So following all that procedure laid down under SARFAESI Act, IOB, complying with all the provisions of this act and the rules of the act, publishing the notices as per the provisions of this act, taking all these precautions, proceeded with the sale of the properties. The date was fixed through e-tendering process, and on the date on which the sale was confirmed in favor of the buyer, 25% of the money was recovered then and there, 25% of the sale price, which included the 10% earnest money already deposited by the prospective buyers in that e-tendering process. Including that, 25% were deposited by the buyer then and there. For remaining 75%, the bank had, as per the provisions of this act, 15 days time to recover that remaining 75%. But in between, the borrower, the corporate borrower, the corporate debtor, RCM Infrastructure Limited, filed a petition before NCLT, National Company Law Tribunal. This petition was examined by NCLT, it was admitted, and the moratorium was notified. Friends, mark my words. The petition was admitted and the moratorium notified. It has implications subsequently on the process which the bank initiated under SARFAESI Act. So these are the facts of the case. And second point, the clash started once an application or petition is filed before NCLT. Which code is applicable now? It is Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code 2016. So we have to go through the striking provisions of IBC 2016 in this respect. And those striking provisions are: point number 1, that in case the petition is admitted and the moratorium is notified as the provisions of IBC 2016, no other action or proceedings can continue which may have been initiated under SARFAESI Act. So those have to be discontinued or stopped. Now, after hearing, the NCLT passed an order setting aside the sale and restricting the bank to proceed further under the SARFAESI Act. Now here the question arises that the bank recovered the remaining 75% amount from the buyer during this period and completed the sale in favor of that highest bidder in that e-tendering process. This sale was completed by the bank. So by the order of NCLT, bank was an aggrieved party. Bank went to NCLAT, National Company Law Appellate Tribunal. Now the bank approached the Appellate Tribunal, and the tribunal, after going through the appeal of the bank, dismissed the appeal and upheld the order of the NCLT. Ultimately, the bank had no option but to approach the apex court. So, the bank filed an appeal before the Supreme Court. Now, Supreme Court referred to the relevant sections of SARFAESI Act, whether or not there has been any violation of the Act. They found none violation. They referred to Section 14 and Section 238 of IBC 2016 and other striking provisions which I mentioned earlier. And here they found that once the NCLT has admitted the petition and notified the moratorium, no other proceedings can go simultaneously against the corporate debtor. Here, RCM Infrastructure Limited was the corporate debtor who filed the petition before NCLT and got an order passed in their favor. Now, Supreme Court, after examining the order of the NCLT and the submissions made by IOB, Indian Overseas Bank, they gave their judgment. The judgment given by the Supreme Court was against the bank, and the Supreme Court, keeping those provisions in view and referring to those provisions, Section 14 and Section 238, where that if before NCLT the petition has been admitted and the moratorium has been notified, no other proceedings can go ahead simultaneously. So they dismissed the appeal of the bank, and Supreme Court finally upheld the order passed by NCLT. Now friends, very important aspect, very important are the consequences of this decision. That any of the corporate debtor now, referring to this judgment, taking it as a precedent, can approach NCLT during this process when the bank has initiated the recovery proceedings under SARFAESI Act. They have published their sale notice, they have proceeded with the sale, and in between that process, they may file a petition before NCLT, where there can be two situations. Situation number one, their petition may not be admitted. In that case, bank can go ahead. They can proceed with the sale of the immovable properties as per the provisions of the SARFAESI Act. But in case the petition is admitted and the moratorium is notified, in that case, bankage is stopped taking any other proceedings under any other act, because now the matter has been considered under provisions of Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code 2016, where the striking provisions are that in case the matter has been come before NCLT and NCLT, as did in this case, set aside the sale, passed an order stopping the bank, all the other proceedings, because under Section 238 of IBC, it is clearly mentioned that anything contained inconsistent to the provisions of the acts, the provisions of IBC 2016 will prevail upon. If anything inconsistent is written or contained in any other act, the provisions of IBC will prevail upon. So here also, in this present case, Supreme Court based their judgment on these provisions and dismissed the appeal of Indian Overseas Bank, upheld the order of the NCLT which was passed. Two dates were also considered. Sale was completed on 8th of March 2019, and the petition was admitted and moratorium notified was on 3rd of January 2019. So the sale completion was later than the petition admission before NCLT, which was on 3rd of Jan 2019. So keeping all these aspects in view, now any of the corporate debtor can approach the Supreme Court and can put the interest of the bank, interest of the lender in jeopardy. I hope I have been very clear. This judgment is a khatre ki ghanti for the banks. The banks have to do something in this respect. So I conclude my video at this point. Thank you very much for watching. But friends, please do not forget to like, share my videos and send your suggestions and queries in comment box by your beautiful comments. And in the end, please do subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you.